your pet safe ahead of the celebrations.
And hot temperatures on the way for the weekend. We'll warn that full forecast coming up. NBC Palm Springs at 5 starts right now.
Now, this is NBC Palm Springs.
Good evening. Thank you for joining us. I'm Olivia Sandusky.
And I'm Mark Mester. We're going to start with developing news this evening involving immigration. The Supreme Court removing barriers for President Trump to implement his birthright citizenship change. That's tonight's top story. In a 6-3 decision today, the justices ruled against lower state courts that had blocked the president's executive order, which reinterprets the 14th Amendment. Under the new interpretation, a child would only be granted U.S. citizenship at birth if at least one parent is a U.S. citizen or a permanent resident. The proposal was first announced back in January by the president, but was quickly met with legal pushback. State courts across the country issued injunctions, putting the order on hold. But now, with the high court's ruling, the legal roadblock has been removed. We spoke with TODEC attorney Alex Galvez today about what this means.
In order for that injunction to take effect at the national level, every single state, every single district, there's about 100 federal district courts, regions, must file for an injunction in order for Donald Trump's interpretation of the 14th Amendment not to be implemented at the national level. If an injunction is not in place, say, for example, in Texas, the children that are born there after 30 days, they might be born without any birth certificate. If there's no injunction, we might be seeing a reality where parents, pregnant women from Texas might be moving over here to California in order to ensure that the child is given a U.S. birth certificate. So there's no doubt in 30 days, we're going to be facing a new reality if the injunctions do not take hold at the national level.
Now, with this decision coming from the Supreme Court this morning, local leaders and organizations are sharing their thoughts, reacting to the decision. Our Tiani Jadaling is live in studio with us tonight. She has more from both parties. Tiani?
Olivia, according to some local leaders, this new decision could set the nation up for a patchwork of civil liberties and rights. While some might view that as a negative, others I spoke with tell me they believe this decision puts America first and protects the Constitution.
Some of the cases we're talking about would be ending birthright citizenship, which now comes to the fore. That was meant for the babies of slaves. It wasn't meant for people trying to scam the system and come into the country.
That's what President Trump had to say about this morning's decision coming from the Supreme Court. The ruling limits the ability of judges to block the president's plan to end birthright citizenship. The decision-making rule that judges cannot issue sweeping universal injunctions that can apply nationwide. Local Democratic politicians tell us this could divide civil liberties and rights for states.
That opens up the possibility that California and Arizona and Texas and different states will have different rights for individuals. And that's going to be very difficult for the federal government. It's going to disintegrate the notion that we're one nation.
Congressman Raul Ruiz says he believes SCOTUS will eventually have to decide whether or not being born in the United States gives the right to be a citizen.
It has been upheld through numerous, consistently Supreme Court decisions in the past. So I'm confident that the Supreme Court will rule, as the Supreme Court has done numerous times in the past, that if you're born here, you're a citizen.
While a ruling was made this morning, this decision doesn't affect individuals for a number of days. A decision some conservative organizations say was long overdue.
It is about time that the courts that stepped in and said, look, we just have to return to what's legal is legal, what's illegal is illegal. And that is where we are right now.
According to Latinos for America First, they say this ruling sets the tone for judges to rule based on the Constitution and a legal precedent moving forward.
We need our judges to see what's legal and to continue to do what's legal, because that's the way that we can conduct and keep this country in its sovereignty, and we keep this country, in a legal pathway, and to keep our community safe.
This morning's decision has prompted a number of groups, including ACLU, to file lawsuits on behalf of immigrants who may be affected by this order if it does go into effect. Live in studio, I'm Tiani Jadaling, NBC Palm Springs.
Tiani, thank you. Once again, the Supreme Court ruling that federal judges cannot issue nationwide injunctions limiting their power to block presidential policies for the whole country. Critics warn this weakens judicial checks on executive power. Supporters say it reinforces the separation of powers. The decision from the High Court means the president's restrictions on birthright citizenship could soon take effect in parts of the country. The case now returns to the lower courts and could lead to a patchwork of enforcement across different states. The policy presented by the administration remains blocked nationwide for now. Historically, nationwide injunctions are seen as a check on executive power. Over 40 such injunctions have been issued during Trump's second term.
Now, if the president pushes forward his restrictions on birthright citizenship, the new ruling could have a significant impact on undocumented mothers-to-be across the country and here in the Coachella Valley. We'll hear from one undocumented individual who's a DACA recipient and is 3 months pregnant about how she's processing the news today. Our Alondra Campos will have that full story coming up tonight at 6 o'clock.
We have more from the nation's highest court, who did reject a challenge to part of the Affordable Care Act today. It's related to that panel that recommends no-cost preventative health care. Insurers have to cover the panel's recommended preventative services at no cost. The appeal never threatened to take down the Affordable Care Act, but it could have impacted millions of Americans' access to preventative care. That's because cost-free preventative care makes people more likely to get screenings and other services to detect disease at an earlier stage. The High Court ruled members of the panel don't need to be appointed by the president. That confirms Human Health Services Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. and his Biden administration predecessor both had the ability to name the experts on the panel.
And the Supreme Court also backed a group of religious parents who want to opt their elementary school students out of engaging with LGBTQ+ books in the classroom. It's another major legal win for religious interests at the conservative High Court. And it's the latest decision blurring the line that previously separated secular education from religion. The court ruled a suburban school district in Washington, D.C. burdened the First Amendment rights of parents by refusing to allow them to pull their kids from the classroom when those books were being used.
Republicans are scrambling to pass President Donald Trump's sweeping domestic policy legislation by his self-imposed deadline. That's after the Senate parliamentarian called for revisions. GOP leaders say they hope the Senate can rework the bill and pass it by this weekend. After that, it would still have to go back to the House, and the president wants to sign it by Independence Day. Republicans are using a process called reconciliation for the bill. It allows Senate passage with a simple majority, but it's largely for budget legislation. The Senate parliamentarian says several of the bill's provisions don't qualify. Democrats say they don't want to cut Medicaid and food stamps to offset trillions of dollars in tax breaks. All right, we're giving you a live look tonight outside from our Agua Caliente casino camera. We're going to send things over to Chloe Carlson, who's tracking not only our weekend forecast, Chloe, but did I see the 1 teens in the forecast?
1 teens, I know, possibly on the way as we get into early next week. I'm hoping maybe we'll stay on the cooler side and we get away from the 1 teens. But either way, yeah, we're going to see a warming trend warming us up as we get into the weekend and early next week. Outside right now, 105 in downtown Palm Springs. So we're trending actually a little bit cooler today than we originally forecast. We thought we'd be 109 for the high today. We won't quite get there, so that's a win right there in itself. Every degree matters, okay? Winds from the east-southeast direction at this hour and mostly calm across the region. We'll call it strong breezes near the pass there, 15-mile-per-hour wind gusts for them. That's something that's really not going to change as we get into the weekend. So the similar gusts that we get into the afternoon, evening hours, that will continue through, I think, at least early next week. So we'll stay breezy here on the desert floor in the afternoon, evening hours. Strong breezes, gusts for the wind quarter there and the usual suspects there. So Desert Hot Springs, North Palm Springs, and North Indian Canyon. You know the drill. So just keep that in mind with your commutes this weekend. It'll pick up a little bit as we get into the early evening. For Saturday, we have this ridge of high pressure center that is building to the south of us over the course of the next couple of days. That's going to continue to move its way over Southern California. And that's why we will see those temperatures start to build a little bit as we get into early next week. So here's a look at your Comfort Air 3-day forecast. Right now, looking to say under 110 degrees for our weekend, which is great. Looking to climb again 110 on Monday, possibly to the 1 teens early next week. We'll break down more you can expect in that full forecast coming up.
Chloe, thank you. A local alert tonight. Staff at the Palm Springs Animal Shelter is warning about the dangers of not being prepared during the 4th of July, especially when it comes to our pets. Brett Rosen has more details for us. Brett?
The Palm Springs Animal Shelter tells me that furry friends are more than just pets. They're part of the family. And with 4th of July coming up, they have given some helpful tips on how you can keep your furry friends safe. The 4th of July is just around the corner, and while many are planning trips, some locals say they are concerned of potentially losing their furry friend.
Dog escapes. The dog is in a panicked state, and so it's not necessarily, looking for help. It's just panicking. And
my worry would be if they ran away. If she was outside, do not let your dog outside.
Maybe this will get you adopted.
Executive Director at the Palm Springs Animal Shelter, Dan Rossi, says they get the biggest number of stray animals during the 4th of July weekend. So he says if you're a pet owner, it's best to be prepared ahead of time.
Make sure that you have a quiet space ready for your animal during 4th of July, a couple of days beforehand and obviously after as well.
Some ways Dan Rossi says you can prepare your home is by making sure your curtains are closed to block out the fireworks. Keep your home dimly lit, play white noise or soft calm music, or walk your dog in the morning before fireworks go off. However, Rossi and other pet owners say there's nothing better than just staying home and keeping an eye out on your pet to keep them calm.
I highly recommend an owner be with them just in case something happens to help control the situation and them as well.
Keep your dog with you and keep them leashed. Don't let them run around so they'll just run away or something. If I lost her, I don't know what I'd do.
This is a shared testament of many pet owners. Rossi says during this time of year, you can never be too safe when it comes to making sure your pet is taken care of. A way to ensure the safety and security of your furry friend, says Dan Rossi, is to have them chipped so the Palm Springs Animal Shelter can reunite the animal with its owner as soon as possible.
If there's a microchip, we read that microchip, we have the readers here, and we know right away who the owner is, what their contact information is, and literally within minutes from when that animal comes in, we can call them and let them know that their animal is here.
Now, the Palm Springs Animal Shelter mentioned chipping as another important tool to ensure your furry friend's safety. They had told me that if you live in Palm Springs, chipping is absolutely free. And if you live anywhere else in the Coachella Valley, it's only $10. It's just another tool used to make sure that if your furry friend runs off, you'd be able to easily find them. For NBC Palm Springs, I'm Brett Rosen.
Coming up next night here on NBC Palm Springs at 5 o'clock, the Palm Springs Surf Club is making a splash for the 4th of July celebrations. We'll show you how after the break.
And Hot Wheels rolls into town. We have more on the fun happening today and this weekend over at Acrisure Arena. That's still ahead later in sports, so stay with us.
They say dogs are a man's best friend, but at NBC Palm Springs, we're a dog's best choice for news. Apologies to our competitors, but even your dogs know who leads the pack in news.
Night after night, discover the unique stories that set our valley apart. Together, we're going to find inspiration and foster connections that strengthen the fabric of our community.
Babies are experts at paying attention to only what is genuinely fascinating, and we couldn't agree more. Palm Springs news. Even astronauts.
4th of July is next Friday, and the Palm Springs Surf Club says it's going to be a special day of fun in the sun. Our digital reporter, Thalia Hayden, shows us out.
Hi, everyone. You normally don't see me dressed like this, but we are continuing our 4th of July ideas for you. Can you guess where I am? So far, we've taken you to Civic Center, Rancho Mirage, Agua Caliente casinos, and now we're giving you another idea in Palm Springs for a great way to spend your 4th of July. We are at the Palm Springs Surf Club. They have events planned for the day.
This is completely open to the public. Just pay for the general admission. For adults, it's 40, and kids, it's 20.
And they want you to know it's not an exclusive club. It's for everybody in the Coachella Valley.
This is kind of like a place where we kind of want to build on the community.
Digi, I got a double. It's time for you to come with me. Put that camera down, will you? I didn't bring my lawn chairs today, but I did get you a tube. So you have to come in this lazy river with me. I'm getting you your tube, and we're gonna hold hands, and we're gonna float away together. At the end of the day, if you're sick of the sun and you really wanna pamper yourself, I feel elite, even though this is for everyone, come into this beautiful air-conditioned area where you can sit at the bar, grab something to eat. So many options at the Palm Springs Surf Club. I'm your digital reporter, Thalia Hayden, with NBC Palm Springs.
Let's take a live look outside from our Indian Wells Golf Resort camera. Chloe Carlson's tracking the 7-day forecast right after the break.
And happy Friday, everyone. Welcome back. Right now, we're taking a live look at the Walter Clark Highway 11 cam in Rancho Mirage. At clear blue skies out there yet again today. Calm winds there in the Rancho Mirage area and quite a bit of traffic there. 106 for the high today. So as I mentioned earlier, we were right around seasonal for this time of year, which is a win because we were expecting those temperatures to be slightly warmer today. 109 is what we originally forecasted earlier on the week. So no complaints that we were just seasonal today, especially when you're looking at that record-breaking number from 2021. 121 degrees. No, thank you. Across the southwest at this hour, current temperatures, we are 70s along the coast, 99 in Bakersfield, 103 in Vegas, 107. That's not correct. No, it is. Okay, 107. Well, I guess we're 107 now. That just switched. 107 for Palm Springs. Right at triple digits for Desert Hot Springs. 90s up in the high desert. 91 there at Joshua Tree. Overnight tonight will be in the high 70s for the desert floor. 68 in Joshua Tree. As we get into this weekend, as far as surface moisture, shocker, we are going to be dry. So yeah, those clear skies are going to continue for us as we get into Monday. As I mentioned, that ridge of high pressure right now that is well to the south of us, that's going to move its way north and move inland as we get into early next week. So that's why we are expecting those temperatures to warm slightly and be peaking for our Monday through Wednesday next week. So 109 to 113 possible for our Monday. We talked about that monsoonal flow that could be moving into Southern California as we get into late next week. So very warm, very hot conditions, but as we mentioned, great conditions for the fireworks for the holiday. Again, we'll keep you updated on the temperatures and conditions for those fireworks at 9 p.m. for the Agua Caliente Casino, 95 degrees. It's going to be a beautiful evening for the holiday. Here's a look at your Confidere 7-day forecast. Staying below 110 degrees for our Saturday and Sunday for the weekend. We are warming up to 110 by Monday.
They say dogs are a man's best friend, but at NBC Palm Springs, we're a dog's best choice for news. Apologies to our competitors, but even your dogs know who leads the pack in news.
Night after night, discover the unique stories that set our valley apart. Together, we're going to find inspiration and foster connections that strengthen the fabric of our community.
Babies are experts at paying attention to only what is genuinely fascinating, and we couldn't agree more.
NBC Palm Springs Sports Desk. Brought to you by Agua Caliente Casinos. We have your game.
Welcome back, everyone. I'm Caitlin Kelly. Tim O'Brien has the night off. Well, we're in for another action-packed weekend here in the desert. Of course, last week we had the action sports spectacle with dirt bikes and surfing over at the Palm Springs Surf Club. And now this weekend, we've got monster trucks taking over Acrisure Arena. Hot Wheels Monster Trucks Live Glow and Fire has 2 show times tomorrow, with the matinee show at 12:30 and the evening show slated for 7:30. The family-friendly show has neon lights, transforming trucks, and some seriously cool stunts like smashing and jumping over vehicles. Tickets are still available for the event, but if you just can't wait until tomorrow to check out these monster trucks, you can head on down to Acrisure Arena this evening at 6:30 to check out the trucks and even take some pictures and meet the drivers. Tickets will be available for purchase in person tonight as well. But if you're looking for sporting entertainment this weekend that's perhaps a little milder, the Palm Springs Power have some home games tonight and tomorrow against the Inland Valley Legends. Palm Springs Stadium is, of course, home to the desert's biggest outdoor misting system, so no worries about being too hot when you sit back, eat a hot dog, or let's face it, too, and sip on a cold one while watching some of the best baseball the desert has to offer. The Palm Springs Power, of course, the back-to-back league champs in the CPCL, and are looking to make it a third year in a row. They currently sit at 15-3 with a 5-3 record in the CPCL. First pitch tonight and tomorrow slated for 7 p.m. 7 p.m. right when the temps start to cool down. So if you get an epic sunset while enjoying time in the ballpark. That'll do it for sports. I'm Caitlin Kelly.
Caitlin, thank you. In some entertainment news tonight, we have some news from the video game world this week that includes new Pokemon cards featuring a beloved character. Rick Damigella has more.
The Pokemon Company has just launched its Eevee Grove expansion for its Pokemon TCG Pocket app. Players can chase dozens of new digital cards, including numerous evolutions of the beloved character. Music news, the 8-bit big band is hitting the road. MGP Live announces the Grammy Award-winning video game music jazz orchestra will kick off its 2025 tour in Seattle, Washington, August 30th, with more dates to follow in the US and UK.
Wait, so you're telling me you can date everything? The washing machine, the chair, the refrigerator?
Time for a snack.
Yes, really. Date Everything is a sandbox dating sim where players' date household objects come to life. The game mechanic for achieving anthropomorphic appliances involves wearing special in-game glasses. Date Everything is out now for PC, Nintendo Switch, PlayStation, and Xbox consoles. Leveling up in Hollywood, I'm Rick Damigella.
Love isn't where the heart is told.
They say dogs are a man's best friend, but at NBC Palm Springs, we're a dog's best choice for news. Apologies to our competitors, but even your dogs know who leads the pack in news.
Night after night, discover the unique stories that set our valley apart. Together, we're going to find inspiration and foster connections that strengthen the fabric of our community. All right, why did the turkey cross the road? To harass a New Yorker on his way to work. Have a look at this video right here. This is earlier this month when that man right there was leaving his home in Staten Island when he saw a turkey sitting on his front walkway. Just gets funnier and funnier. The bird started to follow, then quickly chased and chased him more, and then the man, as he headed to his car, parked into his driveway, he ran around his vehicle twice, and that helped create some distance with the turkey, but...
He's back.
What a great story.
Yeah.
Great video.
Definitely fun to have a Ring camera to capture that. Probably much funnier after it happened.
Right.
He probably went back and was like, honey, you're never going to believe how my day started.
Check the video.
All right, that's going to do it for us. Nightly News is next, and we're back here tonight in 30 minutes with the latest local headlines. We'll see you then.